Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. Today just coming back with this bite-sized book of Floral Serenity, which was part of the bundle for the members free gift. So I'll just take you through. So it is a half-size book, so you get 60 pages and you've got 10 different designs. This first one is my favourite one out of the whole book, but then we've got that one. And they're all beautiful. We've got that one and that one, again beautiful, very sort of botanical and that sort of style. Hydrangea, blue hydrangea. I love blue hydrangeas, but I can't keep them blue. They go back to being pink even when I add the stuff. I think those are like a hyacinth. Could be a wild, it's not a wild bluebell, I think it's a hyacinth, that one. And again, butterfly is very much the theme as well. Again, you've got that one which is super nice, and that one there. I don't need so many of those because I've cut into that one. And then that's the last one there with that dark blue navy running all the way through. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. So let's jump straight on in. So what I've done is taken a piece of 6x12 cardstock and I've just folded that over to make a 6x6. I'm just going to tidy that up because I didn't fold it very well. That's a little better. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And what I'm going to do is bring my card out this way. So this is sort of as you would be looking at it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 inch off here and here. But I only want to go up to 1 inch in. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the down part. So I'm popping my card over to the 1 inch, blade in the right position. And I'm going to go all the way down to 5. And then what I'll have to do is rotate my card around. Pop it back in again at that 1 inch mark and go all the way along to that 5 again. So now you're going to have a card that looks like that. And then what I'm going to do is pop this in corner to corner. So I've got my top of my fold line there and the corner of my card. And then I'm just going to cut down to meet that cut line that I've made. There we go. And then if I move my blade down, do the same at the bottom. There we go. And we end up with a card with that cutaway. Now there is another sort of style of card, so let me just pop those back in. Let's assume that I haven't cut it all the way. Now if you put your blade in and cut from 1 to 5 and then turn it that same way again and do 1 to 5 and then score along there, you can have a piece that comes along and folds over. The reason why I don't do that card, actually I've never made that card, is because just the matting and layering it's hard for me to get that angle right. So I have found an easier way to mat and layer this card than the first time I made it. So that's what's prompted me to get this one back out again. Okay, so let's just move those out of the way. So I'm going to be using some holographic mirror mats today. So the first one is going to be for the back, so I'm just going to cut 2 notches off 2 of the sides, and you can see that will make a lovely little bit of a feature on a card. Just that little bit of holographic can add something really cool to a card. So that's going to go onto the back, and I have saved a bit of insert from earlier on the kit. On that one, yeah, I want another one. And that's going to go onto the back of the insert. So this next one I'm going to come in at 5 3/4. So again, save those strips, they can be really cool borders. And then I'm going to cut this straight down that diagonal. And what I should find is that because we've got that extra 2 notches, for some reason it just gets a nice border all the way around, which is fairly similar to the other one that I have, maybe slightly wider but not too much. And then we're going to come in with this foiled edge to edge cardstock. Now I'm going to try this one at 2 notches under 5 3/4, but I may take a little bit extra off. So I want to be careful of which way I'm cutting this. So I want to go that corner to that corner so my pattern is the right way up. And again, I'm going to cut this on that diagonal. And we'll have a little look on here. Yeah, that's super thin. Let's just take a little bit off 2 of those sides. So I think what I would do is just go with that. Just do that on the guillotine. We need that out for the insert anyway. So this guillotine tends to be better for just taking little slivers off. I'm just going to tidy up that one I just did. There we go. And let's see what that looks like. And if you do find that this is not quite, the borders are not quite how you want them, just cut off of these flat sides and it will bring it in, so it'll be perfect. So that's going to be my piece for there. While we've got this guillotine, for the back this needs to be 5 3/4 square. I've chosen this one. It has got a bit of a pattern on but not too in your face, so that's going to go in the background there. And then the other thing I need is another little bit of holographic, and I just want to do a square to go on there, and that square is 4 by 4. So I'm just going to go 2 notches on this 4. Obviously I'm going to save those big pieces, they'll be great for die cutting out of and stuff. But that should fit quite nicely onto there. And then there is that nice paper, there you are. Should I go with, just thinking maybe, let me grab my picture out of here. It's one towards the back. And with 2 flowers on, this is the one. Let's see which is going to look best. You're not going to see very much of it, if anything. In actual fact, I'm not going to even use that. Let's come in and do this straight onto there. So if I take down to that lace first of all, I'm pretty sure this is going to be 4. So we need to go to 3 3/4. So I'm going to take that to there, and then we need to come down another inch or so. So let's take that to there. So I don't mind having the flowers coming over the top because I've already decoupaged some of these flowers anyway. So I'm just going to cut that like so. That's fine. Okay. So because I cut the flowers fully, we will have to sort of amend those as we're going along, the ones that I want to chop off, if any. Okay, so let's start to mat and layer. So the paper, well, let's start with the glues first of all. Let's do it logically. So I've got my Cloud All Purpose in there, which is the alcohol-based glue. I've got the Cloud Tacky Glue, which is a water-based glue there. And with the papers, I tend to use the Permanent Dots tape pen, because the tacky glue that I usually put in the corners is not great for paper because it makes it soaks into the paper and it kind of makes a sort of weird bubble. Alcohol glue is fine because there's no water content to it, so it just evaporates away. However, what I would say is when you're using it on inserts, just make sure you give it a good press down so you don't get any sort of lumps forming, which might make it harder to write onto. And apologies if you can hear the wind whistling in the background. It's warm outside here, you know, not bikini weather, but you know, I haven't had to have the heating on today, but it's very blowy out there and the wind chime is going like crazy. Okay, so that's our piece there. So that's our background setting off our card. What I would say is if you've got to do, you know, save these pieces, and then if you decide to do another card in this style, you've already got your mat cut to size there. You just have to remember that you did it at 5 3/4, maybe write it on the back in pencil, is what I would do. And then we can just bring that in. And the other thing you could use, I don't know if you managed to pick them up, when they launched this kit they had some perfect corners. I think they were called perfect corners, something like that they were called. I did get them because they were beautiful, but that would also fit along here. There's a die, and that would also fit along here quite nicely, I feel. So you could take a plain piece of light blue adorable scoreable and mat that up on there with that lace die cut, and it would look beautiful. Okay, so back to paper again. So back to my dot roller, and I'm going to pop that one onto there. It's grabbed in this corner straight away, which is annoying. Come on now. But the good thing about the dots is they are quite forgiving and they do come up to give you a second bite of the cherry. Okay, so these are the bits that I have already cut out. As you can see, they're going to go over the edge. Now I'm going to keep the one going over the top. It's just going to be one layer there, and then this one I'm going to cut that down straight at the side there because I think it's straight anyway, so there's no point that hanging over the edge. And then we've got our butterfly as well. So let's come in with some scissors and pop this on. Now obviously I don't want to be putting any foam pads over the top of there because they will be showing. Just cut all of those off. But I do want to give it a nice amount of support because it is just paper. And I did find the kit that I'm going to be working on next, the Garden Treasure one. That was on Hunkydory recently. I believe it's the first Matastic kit of the year. And it is lovely. I love Matastic. It is my favourite thing to work on. So yeah, so I've ordered that, and we will be working on that after we finish with this. So I am probably going to end up doing another video with this book, unless there is a particular design team card that you've seen that you want me to show you how to do, or maybe two actually, because I normally do 2 per video, don't I? So let me know if there's anything you want to see out of the design team ones that I've done so far, and I may have a go at replicating that for you while that kit makes its way to me. Come on now, you. Didn't have to go on the wonk. So this is why we put the glue on the backs, to give us this little bit of wiggle room time, because you can see just where I've missed a bit of glue there, and you can see how it's stuck to that paper. Let's put some more on and try it again, because it wasn't right. So where are we? That is a bit better. So you could, if you want to, trim it off at the top, but I think that's going to be quite nice coming over the top, like so, because it's got that nice bit of definition to it. So we'll keep that there. I'm going to have to trim this one as well, but let's pop some foam pads on. It doesn't matter if these are over the edge, because we're going to cut them off anyway. And pop into there. And I'm not really shaping it as such, just giving it a nice amount of support. There we go. Just make sure we put, and I use the tacky glue on here, but the purple glue stick is really great for this as well. Okay, so this is going in over there. Let's just rotate that round. So I've got that in the right place. And again, trimming that off at that side. And the only reason I'm trimming this off at the side is because otherwise it would have weird straight edge, because it was the straight edge of the book anyway. So then I've got this piece here, which is the centre for there, and our little butterfly, little cabbage white I believe it is. I do get a couple of cabbage whites in the garden, which wasn't, I was trying to grow some broccoli and cabbages. So, well, anyway, these cabbage whites, caterpillars, they got underneath all the netting, little devils. So Henry did not get any homegrown cabbage. Oh, he did actually, he did get a tiny, there was a couple of leaves that he did get off one of the ones that I managed to save. There we go, so that's that one on there. And then what I'm going to do is just take that, because we're going onto the back of the cardstock, we can go straight onto there. Actually, what I think I'm going to do, let me just change my mind on that, sorry guys. And what I am going to do, you can see how it takes the print off. This is why you have to be very careful with this glue, with foils and things. And I can lay these pads over the glue, it'll be fine. And just pop that there. What I do have to do is just make sure I'm not smearing that glue around on that foil, because it could go somewhere where it's seen, and I wouldn't want that. You see how quickly it works as well. I literally just touched it for a second and takes that ink off. Alright, so plenty of glue again. This is just to make sure I get it in the right place. I should have remembered that we need a bit of height before I popped it down, so apologies. I did not. That is going to be better, and it will keep it flatter as well. So that is how our card is looking. Now what we do need is going to be some nice gems. Now I think I am going to come in with some silver ones because I want slightly larger ones than I've got in the sparkle. So I want 3 of these, and I'm going to go up here. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is find a little sentiment from the little book of sentiments to go down the bottom there. My picky up tool. Actually might go slightly smaller with those ones. There we go, that's better. Okay, so let's pop those in there. And sentiments, so little book of sentiments. Pop you over. We're kind of looking for something either light blue or white. And I don't really mind it if it's male or female, but it just has to have that silver silver foiling. With love, happy birthday to a special gentleman. Right, we'll park that one. I quite like that one. Don't want the dark blue, I think that's going to show up against it too much. White and gold, what we got here? Happy birthday, special granddaughter to my perfect girlfriend. Again, just park that one a second. And look at here. Special mum, I'm so sorry. Congratulations, it's time to celebrate. I wonder if that square one would go nice with that. Kind of like that. So we will grab some 2mm foam pads, bring you back over. And then what I'm going to do is just pop in there. If I come nice and close there, like I say, these are the 2mm ones. A little bit of glue. And this is just going to lighten up this corner, add that contrast in as well. There we go. So that is going to be card number 1. I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, what I thought I would do is a little side stepper card. Perfect for these sort of little books, this is. So I'm taking a piece of 6x12 cardstock, and I'm going to pop it to the 2-inch mark. Actually, I'm going to go to 1.5 there, and then I'm going to cut from 1 to 7, and then we'll pop that out of the way for just a second. Let's do our scores. So I want this to be on that side, so I'm going to score at 1 because we're only just doing the one little step on here, 2, and at 7. And then we're going to score at 6 to the cut line. So on your shorter side where you're having your steps, that's the one where you're doing your 1, 2 and 7. And then on the largest side, which is going to be the main part of your card, that's the one that you're going to score at your just a normal halfway point of your card. Okay, so let's just start folding this into place. So I'm just easing those folds in, and then once we are in the right ballpark, we can come in and just give those a really good burnish down. And don't forget to do the fold in the middle as well, because the more you give those folds a good burnish, the better the card will stand. But that is how our card is looking. So we've got our 1.5 inch step on this side, so I've got it slightly wider on that middle part. Okay, so let's bring in my trimmer, and this time I'm just going to go with some silver mirror. If I can grab it, there we go. So I'm going to start by cutting 2 notches off the 6, because that's going to be the widest point of my card itself. And then I'm going to go 2 notches under the 1. That's going to be the piece that comes along there. And then if I turn that around, we know this is 1.5, so I'm going to take 2 notches off that. If I can get my fingers out of the way. And then 2 notches off the 5. And that should fit quite nicely into there. And then this centre piece is going to be 4.5 by 5. So if we go 2 notches off the 4.5, that's the bit I have to remember when I mix it up like that, that I have to add that extra 1/2 inch on. That will go on to there. Now we've got all of those mats out of our piece of 1mm mat. Now I'm going to come in with my favourite paper, I think, for this piece here. So for the 1.25, oops, 1.25, and then that is going to be by 4 3/4. So we've got all that lovely floral going on. On the other side I've got that check, so I can do this piece along the bottom from here as well. So for this one I'm going to cut it this way at 3/4 inch, and then that one needs to be 5 3/4, and then that should fit quite nicely onto there. And then I think for the I think this is not going to be, so we need it to be 4 1/4, so I'm not sure if that is going to be just slightly too small. It is. So what I am going to do is grab my folder with the adorable scoreable that came with this, and I'm just going to take a really lovely piece of that dark navy, and I'm going to cut this to 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. That should fit onto there quite nicely with our little border. And then the sort of length side of this should be fine. Actually, what I'm going to do, and I've cut that, let me come along down. So I'm going to go 4 1/4, and I'm going to go a little longer. So I'm going to go, so how long is this? This is 2 notches under the 6. So I could go to a normal mat, about 5 3/4. The length, side length, is going to be fine, and then I just need to take a little bit off the bottom. So this is going to come over that border at the bottom. So this is going to go down the whole length of that card. So it's going to go over those 2 mats. Yeah, quite like that. And then the other thing I'm going to do is take I'm not going to do it with card, I'm going to do it with ribbon, I think. Okay, so let's come along and do some gluing. So for this, I like to open it up. So with a lot of this being the papers, what I'm going to do is just use my dotty tape pen my alcohol pen, my alcohol glue, sorry. And then that can go straight onto my card in the normal way. If you want to use the dots on this, you could do. The wrong way around. I have. Right, let me put this on. So what I've done is I've made the border at the bottom really neat and the one at the top not so much. So let me just see if I can pick that up. And then I forgot the flowers have to go a certain way because they can't grow upside down. So what I'm doing is just lifting this up off those dots. And I'm going to be able to just slide that down a tad. That's better. So you can see it's a smaller border at the bottom, but when the card is up, you're not going to see that bottom at all. So that's why it's quite important just to make sure you get the top border nice, like so. Okay, so pop some glue dots on there, alcohol glue on, like so. And then I'm going to take some navy ribbon. So again, we're just keeping those dark blues running through this. And a little bit of tape. Now what I want this to do, this ribbon, to go over the top of that topper as well when that's on. So if I put this on now, I should be able to slide that topper underneath that ribbon when I put it on. If not, it will just be coming out of the side, which will still look nice, but ideally I'd like to get the topper under it as well. So we're just going to pop that along that middle piece like so, just making sure I'm not flexing that too much. And then pop some all-purpose glue. I just need to make sure I've got that in the right position before I press that down. Just get that ribbon back. I know what I didn't do. Probably put glue underneath. That's okay, let's come back. There we go. So you can see how this ribbon pops up a little bit. So once we've got that topper underneath it, it's going to look great. So a little bit of glue. And we're going to pop this onto it. To our adorable, scoreable base that we've made for it. You can see just that navy just brings out those colours, makes that pop. Now I'm going to pop my normal glues under there. Now what I want to do is just put that kind of in the right position on the left, bring it in, pop that down, and then we've got that ribbon going all the way across. Now I did do a little bit of decoupage, just one layer on this one, so the flower and our butterfly. So let's just shape that a little bit on the butterfly. Actually, we'll go that way on the flower, just put a little bit of shape, but we're not gonna stick it down quite well, is what I was going to say. Alright, so just want to give it a nice amount of support because it is paper, and you don't want it, you know, especially if you're sending it through the post or whatnot, you don't want it to get squished, you know, maybe even torn. So, oh, my fingers today. Proper little klutz today, apologies. Okay, so let's see, how does this flower go? There we go. And then for this one, what I'm going to do is just pop 1, 2. I'm going to pop them on the wings. Like so. And I'm going to pop some glue on his abdomen. And I'm going to grab my... Okay, I don't think I quite need the lid of the glue just yet. And then we can just bring that in where he is, and then we're going to get that little bit of lift, but his body's going to be flat, so you can see if I lift that up, hopefully you can just see you just got that little bit of lift there under his wings, or her wings. Now 2 things just to finish. I want a little navy bow. Well, actually 3 things because we need a little sentiment. So let's just grab that there and just that little. No, I don't want that. Just caught my eye, but well, maybe we could put that there, but I think it's a bit too lost in that beautiful print. So save it. So what I did from the main kit was I did save 2 inserts that I haven't yet put in any of the cards that I've made, just purely because I didn't know what cards I was going to be making with this kit, so with the book, so I wanted to keep a couple just in case. Now what I'm going to do is pop some glue on there. I will probably end up trimming this bow down a little more at a later date. But if I pop that where I want it to be, right, you are bending it. Told you I'm a bit. My hands are not working so well today. Right, you come down there because that's where you need to be. This is why these reverse tweezers are so good, because they will keep that in place. And I would keep that on there for about 10 minutes or so, and then that would be fine. So for this one, I'm not going to go with silver. I'm going to go with navy, because I think if I bring that navy in, I'm going to put 2 here and 1 over here. And I think that is going to bring this card to life. Okay, and then lastly, sentiment, wasn't it? Now this one would work quite well with a dark blue. me just grab the other little book of sentiments, just seeing. No. So we will have to, I think there's only one page of dark blue in here. Just going to double check. Yeah, so let's see. To a special gentleman, to a brilliant nephew. I'm going to go love and special wishes husband, because it's going to fit quite nicely in there, and it again is going to pick up on those navy tones. Just double checking what's on there. To a special boy, special cousin, brother, grandson, husband. We could go with, actually, let's pop that one back in there. There's a just for you, which would be okay, although it is a heart, but we can live with it. Okay. So just going to pop that on there, just a 1mm pad again. And I have to use my little safety blanket. And then we're just going to pop that there. Okay, and that's going to be that finished one. Obviously that does need a little bit of time just to set, so you will have to see, wait to see the photos if you go and check the photos on Pinterest or Facebook to see that finished effect with that one. But let me bring in that first card. So I have lightly decoupaged both of them. Still loads of pages left, so I only did 3 layers on this one and 2 on that. So you could make two more cards exactly the same as that, or you could make 2 the same as that one as well with those layers on. I might end up putting a little bit of foam pad underneath that butterfly when the video is over, but that is it for today. So like I say, I will come back with the little book again, I think, unless that kit comes in the meantime, but I don't think it's going to get here that quick with the next video being on Sunday. So I feel sure that we should be another video on this one, unless there is any of my DT cards that you particularly want to see, but you'll have to just let me know in the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.